days that drives me to my knees, when there are more questions that
Hey y'all, it's Mercy here with Jay Parrack. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I was born in Arkansas and down in the southwest corner. I've always enjoyed gospel music. My father sang first tenor for the Kingsman Quartet back in the early 70s, so I was raised in gospel music, and of course then he had his own solo evangelism ministry, and so I got to go travel with him some as a teenager, and then of course when I wasn't on the road I was in church with my mom and all that, and then so I had a strong musical heritage, and went to college where I met my wife. We were married, and then the dream finally happened when I was just asked to come try out for Gold City, and the rest, as they say, is history. And I've been in, and I was there for about 10 years. I've got 2 kids. They're fabulous kids, and my daughter is 19. My son is he'll be 16 here in about a week, actually. And so we still live down in Alabama, and God's just really been good to me and my family. I'm serving as a minister of music and worship leader there at Hillcrest Baptist Church in Anniston, Alabama.
When did you get saved?
I was saved. It was I've got a special testimony. I was saved when I was actually on staff at Hillcrest Baptist Church. I had gone all my life listening to gospel music, singing gospel music, and just kind of played the game. I had my religion in order, but I didn't have a relationship with Christ. And when I was on staff at the church where I serve now, I realized then I didn't have a relationship with Christ. I knew about Him and I knew who Jesus was, but He didn't know me. And so I got saved it was in October of 2009. It was on a Tuesday afternoon, and I was in my home. And the conviction had set in so bad, I just finally got on my knees and I asked the Lord to come into my heart. And He saved me, and it's such a whole new way of life, is living the Christian life and allowing Him to live through me.
How did you get started singing?
Well, as I mentioned, my father sang tenor for the Kingsmen, and always, I wanted to be like Dad, and I wanted to sing tenor, and then because I got to travel some with Dad, he had his own solo ministry after he left the Kingsmen. And so he'd let me sing here and there, and just everybody else was home going to football games on Friday nights and doing their thing in school. I was listening to records and listening to music and all that kind of stuff. And so I couldn't wait to get my chance to sing at some point. And so I basically just started singing in church. And every opportunity that I had, I started singing in my local church there, my home church.
What is your favorite memory of traveling with Gold City?
There were so many. I've got so many good, fond memories. Places that we got to sing, and people that we met, and different events and different things that happened. I remember my first night like it happened last night. It was in Birmingham, Alabama, and there were probably at least 5,000 people there, and I was scared to death. This was my dream coming true. Just a lot of great memories like that, and then all the conventions that we got to be a part of, the NQCs, the Gaither videos, Dove Awards, all those different things were so much fun. And I don't know, that's a hard question just to have one favorite memory. I don't know. My dad would even come out and hear us at times, and then we would call him on stage, and he would come sing with us. That was always fun. That was a blast. So yeah, it's a lot. I can't really narrow it down to one.
What is your favorite Bible verse?
My favorite Bible verse is Romans 8:31. What shall we say then to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? And I've always loved that verse. Gold City recorded a song written by Squire Parsons that simply said that, if God be for us, who can be against us? And it simply asked basically a rhetorical question. There's really no answer to that. Nobody can be against us if God is on our side. I think the one word of that verse is the word if. If God is for us, then who can be against us? What if God's not for us? I think we're in a lot of trouble if He's not, and that's why it's very important. I love that verse. If God be for us, who can be against us?
What is your most embarrassing moment on stage?
Like the favorite memories, there were so many of those. There was the biggest. There was the afternoon down in South Georgia where we were asked to sing extra amount of time because there was a group that they either didn't show up or they quit so early, and the guy in charge of the singing said, "We need you to sing to make up for their time too." And that put us on stage for a very long time. And I had not been with the group that long. We didn't have that many songs. We had a large library of songs, but with this new group, with me in it and all that, and we had a brand new piano player at the time. I remember Tim calling this song, and I could not for the life of me. I can usually come away pretty good and make things up. I got through the first verse and the chorus okay, but when I got to the second verse, I couldn't even come up with one word. Not one word. And so the music is still playing, the band is playing, and the people are sitting out there waiting on something, and I didn't say anything, I didn't sing anything, and I just stopped it. I said, "Y'all, let's just stop." I said, "What key are we in?" And they told me what key, and I said, "I want to sing this old song right here." And I went into some old song and that I had sung since I was a little boy, and I got halfway through it and forgot the words to that too. And so we just eventually just walked off and went to the next song. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. I was going to go to something that I knew, and I forgot it too because it shook me up so bad.
What is one of your favorite songs to sing?
One of my favorites is I've got a part-time trio that I sing with now called Jay Parrack and Vocal Event, and we recorded a song called "Sometimes He Whispers." And that is one of my favorite songs to sing. It's just it's a reminder that, yes, God's a big God, and the Old Testament proves that. When you see the miracles that He performed in the Old Testament, such as the parting of the Red Sea, Jericho, the walls at Jericho, all those things were attention getters. And I think we as Christians fall into the trap of thinking, you know what? Why doesn't God do that in my life? Why doesn't He just put on a big show where the whole world can say, "Man, that's a big God they serve"? But since Christ came, they call Him a personal Savior, and since that's the case, you have to go back to what the psalmist said, where he said, "I will be still and know. Be still and know that I am God." And so there's a line in that song, "Sometimes He Whispers," that says, "I will be still and know that He is God." And so when you get still, you automatically get quiet. And when you're quiet, you can hear somebody whisper. And so as big as God is, and as loud as He can be, He is still small enough to care about the small things in your life and the big things in your life. And a lot of times He just wants a personal whisper. He wants to whisper to us His plans, His guidelines, His encouragements. When we're hurting, He wants to heal our hurts that way without anybody else knowing it. He wants it personal. And so I think that's why I love the message, and sometimes He whispers.
What do you like to do in your free time?
I love to go fishing. I got a fishing boat and bought it from Tim. It was Doug Riley's old fishing boat. And so I've got it. And so me and my son go fishing whenever we can.
What would your life theme song be?
My life theme song, that's a good one. That's a good one. Life theme song. Probably I Met the Master. I sang that with Gold City all those years. And I was telling you before, we got to meet a lot of people. I've gotten to meet a lot of people in my life that were very impressionable. They made impressions on me. But I had lived most of my life and never met Christ. And I think that's where a lot of church members are today. They know all the right stuff to say, and they've met everybody else. They know the preacher, they've signed the church card, but they've never met Christ. And so I think that's my life theme song, because it's my testimony and it's also my message to the church.
Who are some of your musical heroes?
My father, for obvious reasons, but when I was a teenager, I fell in love with Sandy Patty. And if she was to walk in this room right now, I'd probably pass out. I mean, I am that starstruck to this day. By far, the greatest female vocalist ever in any genre of music. And that's another one of my favorite memories. I got to meet her. And my goodness, what a singer.
Sometimes
Oh, sure,
he
my pleasure.
whispers